Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. I wanted to make a video on why I think that diversification is really just a hedge against ignorance. And what I mean by that is, if you look at most traditional portfolios or most traditional people in the finance world who give advice on how you should hold and what you should hold in your portfolio, they often talk about putting a small amount across a large array of products and investments to maximize the potential for not only gain but preservation of initial capital, which is very important in and of itself. And that has its place, and that can work to an extent. But what ends up happening is people get stuck holding the bag, or they pick the wrong investment across too many broad, small, risky bets and end up losing entirely or just miss out completely. I heard a Warren Buffett interview one time, and he was talking about diversification, and he plain and simple was looking at the interviewer and basically was like, well, if you knew what would be the best asset to invest in, why would you then diversify out of that and have, only a very small percentage? If you were certain, or if you had asymmetric information that could lead to an arbitrage in price, and take advantage of that. And so really, by diversifying out, that really just means and is expanding the idea that maybe the people investing don't necessarily believe in what they're actually investing in, or maybe they're just unsure enough that they're only willing to risk a small amount. So I think doing research and understanding a investment on a deeper level than majority of other people who would potentially invest, and definitely ahead of them, will go a long way. And so I really just, you need to, in normal times, in traditional times, it's good to be defensive and have a broad, diversified setup. But what that ends up doing is leaving you catching the bag whenever everything falls apart. And we're in a transition right now, a period of time where we're going to be moving from one system to another. And so if you knew ahead of time that there was a new system coming and what it was, and had the opportunity to move all your eggs from all these different baskets of diversified commodities and assets and equities and whatever you have making up your portfolio, and shift them all into a very, very concentrated handful of investments and projects and things that have the potential to absolutely change your life. And what that ends up doing in the long run is, it's not a long run hold at those very tight, small investment portfolios in this type of transition. So we go from a very broad array of investments, and we go to a very, very tiny amount of investments, but we probably won't be all in crypto within the next 12 months. So we're going to basically be getting in and then getting out. when there's like a crash that happens in the stock market or in the economy in general, that is when you want to take the most risk and basically take advantage of the once in a multi-generation opportunity that's going to allow us to go from a small amount of money and a small position to just an extreme amount of wealth that most people never see in their lifetime. So I think that really people who are diversifying too much are just showing that they haven't done enough research. They haven't really done a deep dive into what they're actually putting money into, because if they were so sure that what they were investing in was going to be the one, they would be taking a lot more risk at this time, because we're right at that inflection point where things are about to be adopted, and the blockchains that have real working products and utility that's happening in the real world, those are the projects that are going to increase in value and provide asymmetric bets for people who otherwise, may never get out of a minimum wage type of job. So I really think that people need to really think about what's going on here, and maybe diversification isn't the best thing in this particular time, at least for the next year or so. There's so much money that's going to be coming in to the crypto space that people with their money outside of there are going to just be hemorrhaging money left and right. So I think that people not taking that serious are going to miss out, and they're definitely going to get hurt by everything that's coming if they're not moving into the new system. So I just wanted to put that out there. Stoffel Baker out.